Hi, I'm Marcus Coward, and this is Wake Up Me Bedford, and I'm here with Jay Soares. Jay, thanks for being here.
How you doing, Marcus?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
It's good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So we're gonna get started in the beginning, the origin story of Jay, if you will.
Okay.
So for the people who do, and especially for the people who don't know you, where are you from?
I was born in Zambia. Honestly, as of lately, I'd like to say I'm from New Bedford.
Sure.
But I say that because it's the culture and that identifies with me more than necessarily where I was born. But not that I forgot my culture where I was born. You know what I mean? I was born in Zambia.
Yeah.
My mom was born in Democratic Republic of Congo. My mom was born in Democratic Republic of Congo. My dad was born in Angola. And then my grandmother's from Cape Verde.
Sure.
And then I lived in Cape Verde before I came here.
Okay.
My parents had like tough financial situations, so I used to bounce from like family to family. Like when I was little, I was little, and then I stood with my grandmother for 3 years, and then 3 years or a year and a half, and then I moved here when I was about 8 years old.
Okay.
And then since then I've been here, and I've only gone back to Cape Verde for like vacations and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you didn't come to elementary school in New Bedford?
Oh,
Or did
yes,
you?
I did. I actually went to a couple of different elementary schools.
Okay.
I went to DeVal's. I went to Gomes School. I went to Carlos Pacheco.
Sure.
And then I also believe I went to Haymack.
Sure.
Yeah, so I used to bounce schools all the time.
Hectic.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then Nativity Prep, as you know,
For
what
sure.
I mean? Yeah, Marquette class. You know?
So for elementaries, what's the one that like really stuck with you, or that you remember the most?
I'll say Carlos Pacheco. I had a teacher, Miss Davis. She would help me out with my reading. I had a language barrier with reading. I could speak English fine because I was talking to people all the time.
Yeah.
But when it came to like reading, it was like a barrier. It's like I still had my ABCs in like Creole, you know what I mean? Still sounding out things out in Portuguese, and then trying to apply it to English wasn't really working out. So I always had a teacher who would like take extra time with me to go and read. So Miss Davis was one of those teachers at Carlos Pacheco that helped me out a lot.
So what languages did you know before English?
Before English, Portuguese, Creole. Portuguese and Creole, I would say that. And then it was English.
Yeah.
And then, like, as I was coming up, like, I would see my mom speak Spanish to people all the time and stuff. So I picked up on some things here and there. Like, I feel like I know enough to get, like, my point across and things. But
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Oh, and so would you say you still remember Portuguese and Creole?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I still speak Portuguese with my grandmother and Creole with my mom, and then like some of my family members I see here and there. I still speak it, you know what I mean? And then like whenever like I'm with my Spanish friends or things like that, I try to communicate them in Spanish, you know what I mean? Of course, they tell you all the bad words and things
Yeah,
of
of course,
but
of course.
It's the fun in it, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so that makes a lot more sense as far as for thinking back in middle school and at Nativity, like why Miss Kaiser was there.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't think anyone even asked a question. I mean, she was just kind of there, like
would help me out. Yeah.
Now recognizing that you were definitely the only person who English probably wasn't their first language.
Yeah.
So,
but like you would never tell because like people would say like, oh, you don't have an accent at all.
Yeah,
Like, because it's like I picked up on the language way before I picked up on the literary part of it at all. You know what I mean? So,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so do you have a lot of memories from when you were younger, like when you were in Cape Verde?
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't say a lot. There are key moments that I remember that like were very important to me. Like, like when I went to elementary school in Cape Verde, they hit you in the hand. I remember like getting in trouble with the spatula. You know what I mean? Yeah, I remember like. Running back home for lunchtime, and like a couple kids would come with me, and like my grandma would give all of us food and things like that. I remember it. I went back right before COVID. like in 2020, right before COVID. I got back right before they shut everything down.
Sure.
And I remember going there, I'm like, why is everything like so much smaller? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it used to be big. It's like super
Yeah.
huge to me, you know what I mean? I walked up to my old elementary school door. I'm like, this store is like almost my height.
Yeah,
I thought
literally.
I thought giants used to walk through this,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was like a complete different perspective. Like the walks I used to take were much shorter. I was like, this felt like a mile when I was younger, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was kind of like those things, you know what I mean? Like going back, like brought those memories, but I have more memories here than I do there, you know? Yeah.
And so, I remember you. It's hard not to talk about some of the memories I have of you in middle school, and I just remember you freestyling. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I used to do that. Yeah,
So-
I used to really be like into music. Like my favorite artist when I was younger was like Kanye West, Tyler the Creator,
Yeah.
things like that. And I used to binge watch like, and that's part of the reason why I could speak English way better than I could read it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because of the music. Like I would like listen to Lil Wayne freestyles. I used to think Lil Wayne was the best. You know what I mean? Things
Yeah.
like that. And then I used to love doing it, like at lunchtime, making beats. The pencil thing,
Yeah.
that was like a trend at the time. That
For
was
sure.
cool, yeah.
And so, besides music, do you remember what were some of, or if one in particular stands out, like a big passion that you were looking forward to or to pursuing,
Like
or that you just loved,
like
was a
what I
passion of
wanted to
yours?
do, like for a career.
or even just a passion of yours when you were younger.
Passion. I was very, I would say like, I had like a lot of influences, so I guess. So like, there was a lot of things that I got into, and then I was passionate and had fun about, but they all seemed like recreational, you know what I mean? I never, like I guess at some point I was like, oh, something might happen from this, but you know what I mean? But like, in the beginning, it was all just for fun. You know what I mean? So like, I would say, I liked fashion and things like that, and music because of like people like Kanye West. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I like making clothes or getting clothes made, or like getting like local clothes instead of getting things, just so I could like look different or
Yeah.
be like a distinct person. You know what I mean? So like, oh yeah, that's Jay. You know what I mean? Like you might not see his face, but you see that's on him. You know what I mean? That's Jay.
Yeah.
I like that. And then like the kind of like the rapper ideology. You know what I mean? Kind of like the persona. Like, okay, not only is he like a poet and he's like a lyricist and this and that, but he's also fly, fresh. He has
Fashion
like
icon.
fashion
Yeah, yeah.
icon.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And then like I liked like. And I keep pointing back to it, like Kanye West, Pharrell, you know what I mean? How they would wear really basic clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, you were like, that's different. It
Yeah,
popped
yeah.
like Kanye West with the pink polo.
Exactly.
Or like Pharrell with really colorful like chains and things like that. Or like just things, or Tyler the Creator, like bringing like black skater dude. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Like not
exactly.
something you were used to, but it popped out. And then like, and especially in like New Bedford's a city, but it's like culturally a town. Everybody knows each other in a sense. When you're speaking of like generationally, every generation kind of knows everybody from their generation, kind of thing. So like, if you were the black skater dude, you were the black skater dude. You know what I mean? Like you were the Tyler the Creator guy.
Yeah.
You were saying, or like if you were the rapper, you were the rapper. You know what I mean? It wasn't like we're not from a place where I would say like Boston, big population of people. There could be like 10,000 black skater dudes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Compared to maybe like R15.
So you
stand
out a lot more in New Bedford.
Yeah, exactly.
For whatever your thing is.
Whatever your thing may be, what you're into, whatever you would stand a lot more for it. So
Yeah,
like
you're gonna be known
it's a
for
bunch
it.
of like individuals, but like in one community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's I believe that's what creates the love-hate relationship a lot of people have with our area. You know what I mean?
You can get kind of pigeonholed.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, that's you. Even
yeah.
though you're into a whole lot of things, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And no one's just one thing, but
No one ever is just one thing.
Exactly.
But there's always you might be that one thing in another person's mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, music and fashion were big for you growing up. But then I also know that you're also really big into basketball. And I'm pretty sure you also played football too.
Yeah, football. Yeah, I played football. I thought I was gonna go D1.
You're gonna not bring up football for sure. Okay.
I thought I was gonna go D1. Yeah. But like as I got older, as I got into high school, became very apparent. You know what I mean? That wasn't gonna happen. But I loved football. I love football. Was never really good at basketball, but I love watching basketball, and I'm so into I'm so into the statistics and the history and all that stuff about it. Even just sports in general.
Yeah.
Like I'll argue all day about the NFL. I'll argue all day about the NBA. You know what I mean? And big Jordan guy. So whoever has a problem with Jordan, you know what I mean? we could go about it all day. I mean, I have those arguments all the time, and I used to be very passionate.
And so you played, I'm pretty sure, like 4 years of soccer. I mean, back in middle school.
Yeah.
Did that passion still carry on, or that was just kind of a hobby?
The thing is, soccer, like in high school, soccer and football in the same season. You know what I mean? So if soccer was like a spring sport, I would play soccer in the spring. Definitely. But I just ran track or I did volleyball. So that, because that's was available in spring. You know what I mean? So the reason I couldn't do both is because it's in the same season, and I like football more.
For sure.
Like, as a Cape Verdean kid in Cape Verde, you know what I mean? You hear about American football, and you're like, oh, it's like a big rumble, you know what I mean? And it's the attack. So I always said that even before I knew, like, the rules of the sport, how to play it, I just knew that helmet, shoulder pads, you hit each other, and I always wanted to do it. You know what I mean?
And you definitely had the energy and the mentality for it. Like, You're a very fearless person growing up. You don't care about the size. You don't care about who's in front of you. You're like, I know what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
Now, that mentality, Now, you say that you were influenced as far as for the music and the style from, idols like Kanye, Pharrell, Tyler, the Creator. Yeah. But that mentality as far as for being fearless and being independent, and even like with your size, like really just being fearless in that mentality, what do you feel like inspired you to have that? Like, do you dedicate that to one of your parents, or was it a different mentor, or was it just yourself? Who do you think gave you that personality?
You just to try things and not be worried about
to be fearless, bro.
I want to say it's like, it might be like I guess it's, some people just say it's like in them, but like the best way I could describe it is that I'm very impulsive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm a very impulsive person. So it's like just go do it. And then it's something that I learned now. Like, I just learned this now, so it's not something that I always had in the back of my head. But like, the worst that could happen is I fail. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So like,
great mentality.
I'll just do it again or do it again. I was like, I never thought that I'd be the best at anything at first. But if I'm really good at first, then like maybe I could be even better. Like, if I keep working at it, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I was always willing to try like anything, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then at the same time, it's like, come from like a third world country. Not that I have it bad, or not that I didn't have the things that I needed. You know what I mean? But the opportunities and options to do all the things that I was available for me to do here weren't something that I had while I was back there, while I was in Cape Verde. Like, couldn't play football, you know what I mean? Didn't have access to the internet or computer or anything like that to watch rap music or music videos. Like, oh, this is so cool. Like, you know what I mean? Let me go try this. Or like, yo, this is so cool. Let me go try this sport. Oh, there's a basketball court down the street? Oh, cool. It's not like some fishnet soccer goal that's like in the middle of the desert for me to go play in, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's things like that. I would say it was more about the opportunity and the experience that would allow me to go do those things
and try new things.
And try them. You know what I mean? Not that like, I wouldn't say that like I'm fearless or anything. I just would say that it's like more of like I'm an impulsive person, and I'm open to trying things and open to seeing what they're about. And if it aligns with me, it aligns with me. If it doesn't, then it doesn't.
You move
on.
I
mean? Yeah, I move on. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I believe that like you grow up almost like quicker that way, or you have more of a life that way, and then once you figure out what your purpose is, or you figure out what you're meant to do, or you figure out what where you fit in the world, it'll be easier to come to that conclusion, or you have a head start once you reach that conclusion because you experience all these other things like, okay, cool, this is not me. Cool, this is not me. Cool, yeah, that's not gonna happen. I'm not doing this, all right. But I fit. This is where I fit, you know what I mean? This is where I wanna be, this is where I wanna do. I'm gonna go do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the quicker you find out where you fit, the faster you can become better at that thing.
Exactly.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
And so you have siblings, right?
Yeah, I have, so we're 5. So I have 3 little sisters, 1 little brother. And then 6, because my brother has a brother. He's not my brother in my relationship, but he's my little brother to me, you know what I mean?
And so you're the oldest?
I'm the oldest, yeah.
And so do you feel like that had a lot to do with you being independent, that you just kind of had to pave your own way? Like when you were younger also, did you want an older sibling, or did you like being the oldest?
I wish I had an older sibling.
Yeah?
Yeah,
An
absolutely.
older brother or sister?
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
2 totally different experiences.
That's tough. That's tough. That's tough.
Or just an older sibling, and you haven't, you know, you can't decide.
That's tough. Okay, I'll say what I would believe would be the benefits to both. All
Okay,
right?
sure.
Older brother, all right? One, I'll be able to learn from his mistakes or this and that. And I'll be learn from his mistakes, this and that. Tough love, super honest and things like that. You know what I mean? Older sister. Just from my perspective, women tend to mature quicker and faster.
Yeah.
So getting that perspective from a more mature person earlier on. So like if she's 16, I'm 14, you know what I mean? And she's like probably like 5 years in maturity past me, you know what I mean?
She can really speak game.
I would really understand like a better perspective from a mental state, you know what I mean? So like either or, but yes, I would just rather have an older sibling. Someone like I could go talk to is like, I would say I had conversations with my parents, but I didn't feel like open to have conversations with my parents.
They related to you.
Yeah, like you don't get it. Like you went to high school in Africa, you know what I mean? Like
decades ago.
Exactly. There's no, like, if I tell you something about school, you'd be like, oh, we was doing this in elementary school. Well, I'm in high school. I'm sorry. Like, you might, I don't know. Like whenever it was hard to relate. So I wish I had a little brother or older brother, so like they could tell me about these things, kind of thing, or a proper perspective. You know what I mean? They're like, even with my siblings, like I give them tough love too. You know what I mean? Like I would say like, especially my little brother. I tell him to think about his decisions and think about the things that the choices that they make, and then like not everything is that moment. And then I also let him know like one day you're gonna be embarrassed about these certain things that you're doing. You know what I mean? But like we all are. I'm embarrassed about certain things that I did in my past. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But it's like exactly. But like you don't see it in that moment, and that's why I would say like. And I tell them all the time, feel free to come talk to me before you go do something, because I'll let you know whether you'll feel embarrassed. Well, when you look back at it, whether you might feel embarrassed or not feel embarrassed about this. You know what I mean? Like that kind of perspective. And then like my little sisters, like my oldest little sister is 10 years younger than me. So the oldest sibling I have is 10 years younger than me, and like she grew up different than I am. So she almost like. I want to say she almost has like kind of like this privilege in her head, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, hey, like she doesn't understand that she has it like way easier than I did, you know what I mean? And then she's like, oh, you're the favorite, this and that. But like, no.
You don't even know. You don't even know.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know what happened. I don't know. You don't know what I had to deal with. She's like, oh, I don't have my car to go to school. I was like, I didn't.
You have a car?
Yeah, just like that. I was used to go to school on a moped. You know what I mean? Like. Things like that, and I don't know, but yeah, that's say on my siblings spiel.
Yeah, for sure. And so, now as we get to high school, was there a specific shop that you wanted?
I knew I was gonna pick stationary engineering.
You were gonna pick what?
Stationary engineering. Engineering. Stationary engineering.
Okay, what is that?
That's. Okay, the simplest term that I would say is it's the production of heat production of electricity and the management of heat and cooling in large buildings or heat energy for communities. So it's in even simpler terms, boiler operator. So like we operate boilers, manage the equipment. The boilers are either producing steam to heat and cool down buildings, or manage equipment inside the buildings, or manage equipment inside factories, or the steam is being used to produce electricity for the grid or of things and such. So like it's a wide range of stuff, but it is either industrial or commercial.
Sure.
So where in other trades you would have residential and commercial, it's just either commercial or industrial.
And so what gave you that idea?
Miss Phillips, remember Miss Phillips?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Miss Phillips was telling us about like certain shops, and I think it was like an activity I heard about it. And then somebody was like, "Oh, you make mad money from that."
Sure.
You know what I mean? And to me, I'm like, well, I don't got that much money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That sounds good.
And then once I got into the school, and I went through the exploratory, and then I seen like, all right, they told me, all right, we're the only school at this level on the East Coast of the United States, like teaching this at a high school level. And then you graduate with a license, and then having that license basically guarantees you a job for when you graduate. I'm like, oh, this sounds like a lot of guarantees.
Yeah,
you know
that's a
what
good
I mean?
deal. Okay, cool.
So I picked it. It wasn't at the time when I was in. It wasn't a popular shop. You know what I mean? So like I got it, but I got it. Made the best of it, and it changed my life personally. You know what I mean? Like, I would say I attribute everything that I have today to that trade.
Wow.
To this trade, I would say that. Yeah. So like, and it was just it's like cool science to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of physics, science, and things like that. So like yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Because you ended up then following through those guarantees and you got a job in that field.
Yeah. So for me, I got a co-op job my senior year. That co-op job hired me after. That co-op job hired me to officially been working there. I worked there for 7 or 8 years, and then from 7 or 8 years, then I became a teacher. So like back teaching station engineering at Voch. So.
Wow, teaching your shop that you took?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like 7 years later, so. It was, so like 7, 8 years. Within those years, I had like four or five positions while I was working there, and then got my third engineer's license, and then came to go work at the school. Yeah.
And so was it like all you expected it to be? Was it like more boring? Was it more fun? Or
the job?
Yeah.
I would say I don't have enough experience at other work environments or workplaces to like give an opinion of the industry.
Sure.
But I would say it was a large learning experience. You know what I mean? From like getting out of high school and then going straight into like what some people would consider a career right after college. You know what I mean? Right after high school.
Yeah.
So like. Yeah, like it was a culture shock for me, I would say. So it was a large learning experience. I liked it. I liked the physical work. Then that started to wear on me, and then I was like, all right, let me like try to get a better job, so I do a less physical work. But I liked constantly learning, and where I was working at, it was a constant learning experience because everything under the sun would happen there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then when something was happening, you would go to the situation. People of higher experience and like higher licenses in that situation. You go there, ask them questions. The more questions you ask, the more you learn. So you would just start learning a bunch of things, and then how like little things in your like all these lights that you have in here, right?
Yeah.
That they produce all at power plants. You know what I mean? And then that's where we were working at, and then like. Was understanding like how it went from our boilers to the turbine, through the generator, through some transformers, and then through some transformers and then onto the grid, like learning that whole process, and then how it's stepped up, stepped down, how it goes to like a grid farm, and then from that grid farm, then it goes to your house, and then how the voltage that you have in your wall socket correlates to the voltage and amperage that gets sent off onto the grid or transported, how far it can go, things like such, like all that stuff. Just learning from experience, blackouts and things like that. Yeah.
That's a lot. That's definitely a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that shop helped prepare you like enough to where you were able to do the job when you got there, or did you do a lot of learning on the job?
It prepared me enough to do the job like while I was there. So like, and it doesn't, not to downplay it.
Yeah.
All right, not to downplay it. And the only reason why I say things like this or make it things like this, I truly believe is like whatever I could do, I think anybody else could do. I don't think I'm special. I don't think like I'm. I don't think I'm special, like I'm God sent or anything like that.
Yeah.
Never thought of myself that way. If I could do it, like anybody could do it. That's how I see it. So like, they prepare you for, okay, knowing what a pipe wrench is, knowing like all these different kinds of equipment, how to use them, how to properly use them, what's the safest way to do it, like PPE, and that's something that's like taught like across vocational schools. You know what I mean? Like these basically like proper work attire, how to use different tools, safety precautions, things to think about when you're coming through a new situation where like. Okay, I've never worked with this equipment before, but I'm being expected to work with this equipment. What are just some general safety things that I should keep in the back of my mind when working with it? You know what I mean? Okay, slip, trip situation. What's above me? What do I have on? Who's around me? What's my surroundings? Those are things that we implement into, I believe, like all our trade students. I believe that that's implemented to all of them at the school.
Sure.
But what the details or the details that we get into is trade specific.
Sure.
Okay, so like, all right, when you're working with this pump, all right, this are the things you're working with it. When you're working with this electrical wire or you're wiring this are the things you got to look for. Or like when you're putting this nail into this piece of wood, these are the things you kind of work for. But like, I would say I was prepared in that sense.
Yeah.
But there are things that I wasn't prepared for, like financial management. I said I wasn't prepared for that. Or like, just like, okay, I worked this many amount of hours, I should have this much money. Well, what is this taxes you're talking about? You know what I mean? Like, what is this? Oh, 401k deduction, health insurance. Well, health insurance. Never heard of health insurance before. You know, those things. Those are the things that I wasn't ready for. You know what I mean? Or I would say like kind of like I wasn't prepared for like a work environment.
Sure.
So like I understood how to
do the job.
I understand the knowledge behind the job. I understand that like when I went to school, like I was put into a shop and that was a work environment in the shop, but it was kind of different. I'm with all my friends. These are not all my friends. These are my coworkers.
These are grown men.
Yeah, this is my supervisor. This is like, you know what I mean? Like there's an HR lady. You know what I mean? Like I don't think like I don't think like I knew enough in that aspect. You know what I mean? So like I say something wrong, I'm like, oh, I'll just get a detention, you know what I mean?
Like,
but like, and I know, like, you could get fired for saying things, certain things like this, you know what I mean? And I think that's like the realization that I came to once being in the real world, and not something that I had while I was in school, you know what I mean? So like, now that I'm a teacher, like I try to make my students much more aware of those things. Like, you know, like these things that you think are funny right now and you're laughing at. Somebody doesn't even have to say something to you and you'll get fired for it. You know what I mean? Like, or especially.
So definite adjustment. But I'm glad you brought up your students because that's one of the things we're gonna start with in part 2.
Okay.
So this has been Jay Soares, and we've talked a lot about how he's grown up and how he got to this point. And in part 2, we'll learn a little bit more about the depth of his decisions and maybe some of his plans for the future and some other things that he thinks about. So thanks for watching, and catch us in part 2 where we continue this conversation. Peace.